suspect. Love will see everybody and give them the benefit of a doubt. Love is the ability to see everyone and accept them and assume that they have good motives, that they have good thoughts, and that they don't have any bad or negative intentions, and that they are good people. So until that person proves himself wrong. So love gives people the benefit of a doubt, because love has the ability to look at another person as the image and likeness of God. So what love does is that love will look at you and first of all see God, rather than first of all see a black, or see a white, or see a woman, or see a man. So love, with the first choice of love will not be to first of all look at you and see you as a hooligan, or as a suspect, or as a criminal, or as somebody that reminds them of another bad person. So love does not profile you according to the way you look, according to where you come from, by the tradition or whatever you carry. No, love will look at you first of all, considering the fact that you are made in the image and likeness of God. So love will first of all receive people and assume that they are good. Love will allow you to relate to people thinking the best of them, starting out to think the best and the best possible about them, not even considering, not even allowing yourself to think bad about anybody until the same person proves you wrong, until the person comes to prove to you through his actions, through some facts, or through some valid information that you are wrong, that they are bad really. So, but that is where we have challenge sometimes, because we have the tendency to say, oh, okay, you are from that place, then I have to be careful. Okay, you look like this, then I have to be careful. So love will not immediately begin to suspect you without having some basis for that. But unfortunately, sometimes our experiences in life and sometimes our pain makes us to begin to suspect people, because we have gone through some things in life and we have suffered some losses, or we have suffered some deception or some pain. We tend to start out by thinking negatively about somebody. We tend to start out by suspecting people, or by thinking evil of them. But that's not what love does. Love will first of all give you the benefit of the fact that you are made in the image and likeness of God. Love, on the basis of that, will receive you well. Love, on the basis of that, will honor you. Love, on the basis of that, will respect you. Love will, on the basis of that, relate to you as the best person on earth, until it has evidences to prove otherwise. So love does not judge the motives of others. If we are people of love, we don't want to go into his heart and begin to say, he's bad because that's what he's thinking. We don't know what people think. We don't know what people are thinking. So it will be wrong for us to just assume that that person is bad because I just think like that. There must be facts to base our judgment on. So if you are a loving person, you will not judge people's motives. You will allow that motive to prove itself out. You will allow that motive to play itself out. Then when you have the evidence and the facts, now then you could come to conclusion. So love will always, believe the first information about people. And what is the first information about people? Is the information from God, which is everybody is made in the image and likeness of God, and everybody is originally made good. Everybody is originally made good. So love will not judge the motive of others. So thanks to that kind of love, before you judge, that means we look for facts. Before we judge, we look for facts. We look for evidences. We look for empirical evidences. We do research. We have our facts together. Now, somebody then would now want to respond to me and say, Pastor Sunday, you are saying love doesn't judge. If love doesn't judge, what did you do? Why are you not judging people when you are doing all those your programs on the African pastors? You are showing all the videos about the African pastors. You are doing all the analysis, calling them psychopaths and paganists and syncretism. Is that not being judgmental? Are you not judging that way? Well, remember what we say, love does not judge the motives of others. So it's not judging without evidence. And if you look at what I'm doing, you will discover that I first of all look for every teaching I've done where I've mentioned names or I've referred to African pastors or things like that. I've always come. It's not just that I've done the research and I've got my facts. I actually present my facts. I actually present my case. So that's why you see that I use videos. Because if I don't present my case, if I don't present the facts, then you might think that I'm judging them without having the facts. But what I did in my teaching is that I present the facts for the judgment of the whole world. So I'm not judging the individual pastors. I'm not judging the individual church, but I'm judging the facts that I'm seeing in my eye, before my eyes. So I assume that everybody is good. I assume that everybody has the best intentions until I see facts. Then when the facts are presented to me, then I now say, on the basis of this fact that I'm seeing, I am saying this fact, this particular evidence that I'm seeing now is wrong. This particular practice that I'm seeing is wrong. These particular facts and proofs that I have before me are wrong. So it is different from judging. I'm not judging in that case individuals. I'm not being presumptuous about individuals. I've actually done my own works. I have my evidences. I have my facts and my proofs. And it is those facts and proofs and evidences that I pass judgment on. So that's totally different from judging somebody. Judging somebody is different from judging the empirical evidences that you have. Judging somebody is different from judging the facts on the ground. Judging somebody is different from judging the practices that you could testify to, that you see before your eyes. So that's a little bit different there. So love does not judge the motives of others. What is in the heart of others, we cannot judge. We can only judge the facts, the evidences that we have. So love does not judge. We don't judge. We can only judge. We don't judge people. We can only judge the facts and the evidences, the practices, the doctrines that we hear. So the evidence is in our hands. That's what we judge. Matthew 7 verse 1 to 2 says, "Judge not, that you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. So judge not, that you be not judged." So Jesus is saying that we should not judge. For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. So that is Matthew 7, 1 to 2. But then if you see other scriptures, like 1 Corinthians 14, 29, it says, "Let 2 or 3 prophets speak, and let the others judge." So in the same Bible, one place is saying, "Judge not." And in the same Bible, another place is saying, "Judge." So which one should we believe? Who should we believe? Judge not or judge? This one says, "Judge not, that you not be judged." And this one is saying, when prophets or teachers or pastors are speaking, others who are not pastors, who are not prophets, should judge. So who do we believe? The thing is that these two statements are both correct and are both true. So judge not here is referring to not judging, like I spoke about, not judging the motives of others, not judging people. Don't judge people, don't judge people. But when it now says judge, it first of all say let 2 or 3 speak and let others judge. So what they are judging here is not the prophets who are speaking. They are not judging people, but they are judging what they speak. You see, it said let 2 or 3 prophets speak, let them speak. So before they speak, you don't judge. What you judge is whatever facts they present to you. What you judge is whatsoever teaching they presented to you. What you judge is whatsoever practice, doctrine they have just presented. So you are judging practices, you are judging doctrines, you are judging teachings, evidences, you are judging facts, you are judging what they are doing, but you are not judging individuals. So that's a bit different. So when it says let 2 or 3 prophets speak, then because they are speaking, they are giving you information, they are giving you material to judge or material to use to judge them. So you are using whatever they are speaking to judge who they are and to judge. You are not just judging them just because they appear or without anything. But when they speak, they present to you the material that you can now use to judge. So you can judge based on facts, based on the material you have, based on the evidence you have. You can judge based on the information you have, based on the doctrine you've had, or based on what they are presenting, what they are saying, what they are practicing. You see, we can judge that. He says, so when those pastors or prophets are speaking, let other members of church judge. But then, what does it mean, don't judge? Don't judge when you don't have any evidence. Don't judge when you don't have any material in your hand. Don't judge when you have not done your research. Don't judge when you don't have your facts at hand. Don't judge when you don't have what to use to judge, you say. Judge not, that you might not be judged. Don't just come and judge people. Give people benefit of the doubt. If you judge without evidence, then you are judging people without anything. So what you can judge is based on the material you have at hand, what they have been presented to you. So that's that takes us back to our topic of today. Love does not judge the motives of others. We don't just judge the motive, something that is not presentable. The motives can only be judged based on some facts or some evidences. So in one place it says, judge not. Don't judge people just because it's people, or it's just it's black, or it's because it's yellow, or it's because it's short, or it's because it's a woman or anything. Judge, but in the other place it say judge based on the empirical evidences that are available. Let's go ahead and look at let's look at a video right now. Let's go look at a video that will be able to teach us some lessons and on judging or not judging. Here we go. You don't have the video? You don't have the video? Okay. I think we have some challenges there, no? Are you okay? Well. It's like, I see that we are still in the process, huh? Start all over again. There is a very complex test right here. So it says we have Mr. A, B, C. Right? So he said, can you judge who was the better person out of these three? So let's look at the information we have about the three. One. Okay, Mr. A, he was friends with corrupt politicians. That is Mr. A. Yeah. Consulted astrologers. Mr. A, he was friends with politicians who are corrupt. Consulted astrologers. Had 2 wives. Yeah. Was a chain smoker. Okay, that's Mr. A. Then drank 8 to 10 times a day. He was drinking. So the Mr. A was a friend of corrupt politicians, consulted astrologers, had 2 wives, was a chain smoker, drank 8 to 10 times a day. In one day. Okay, here we go. Whereas Mr. B, he was kicked out of his office twice. So out of his job, he was kicked out of his job twice. He usually slept till noon, till 12 o'clock in the day, like a lazy brat, yeah? Used opium in college and drank whiskey every evening. Bad case, eh? Okay, let's continue. Mr. C. Mr. C, he was a decorated war hero, a vegetarian, disciplined, didn't smoke, didn't drink, inspired millions, never cheated on his wife. So, who will you pick? A, B, or C? C. C. Okay, especially women. Women, who will you pick to be your husband? C. You want C. Everybody wants you. Let's go back to reflect to remind you who is ABC. Go back again. Mr. A, he was friends with corrupt politicians, consulted astrologers, had 2 wives, was a chain smoker, drank 8 to 10 times a day. Who would like to be the wife of this one? All the women here don't want to. All the women in this my house said no. Nobody wants this one. Okay. What about you over there? Will you people like this one to be your wife or your husband or your partner or your business partner? Will you like A, Mr. A? Do you choose Mr. A to be your friend and partner? Okay. Everybody is saying they don't want Mr. A. Okay, let's go to Mr. B. Mr. B was kicked out of his office twice, usually slept every day, sleeps till 12 noon in the day. He uses opium. He used opium when he was in school, in college, drank whiskey every evening. So who wants Mr. B? Who wants Mr. B? You don't want Mr. B. You don't want Mr. B? You don't want Mr. B? Nobody wants Mr. B. You women, you like good things, so you women only want something good. You don't want these ones. No. Even the men are saying they don't want this one. Okay, let's see Mr. C. Who is Mr. C? Okay, Mr. C, he was a decorated war hero, a vegetarian, didn't drink, didn't smoke, he inspired millions, never cheated on his wife. Who wants Mr. C now? Out of the 3, which one? A, B, C? C. C. A, B, C? C. A, B, C? C. A, B, C? C. Everybody wants C. What about in life? Even everybody wants C. Even men want C. Everybody wants C. Okay, let me now tell you who is A and who is B and who is C. Let's continue. So you will say Mr. C is the right one. But look at Mr. A. Stop. Look at who Mr. A is. You don't want Mr. A? Ooh, I'm sorry. Look at Mr. A. He was friends with corrupt politicians, drank 5 to 8 times a day. So you girls, you missed out. Oh. Somebody is now saying, okay, B. Okay, let's go for B. Let's see who is Mr. B. Look at Mr. B. Winston Churchill. Mr. A was Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was Mr. A, former president of America. Mr. B is Churchill, Winston Churchill. Then let's see who is Mr. C. Hitler. Adolf Hitler is Mr. C. He did everything right. Everybody is changing their mind. Everybody is changing their mind already. Fast. That means don't be in a hurry to judge. Don't be in a hurry to judge. Oh. Somebody say, I didn't say it. Oh. Don't be in a hurry to judge. Don't judge, too much. Because you don't see the heart of people. Only God sees people's heart. You don't see people's heart. None of us sees people's heart. Only God sees people's heart. So we cannot just use, actions, immediate actions, what we can see to judge, because God sees the heart. And that's why personal relationship is what matters. You see, yesterday I spoke to you about a woman who is always dancing in the church, who is the most active in the church. But when she died, the pastor saw a vision that Jesus was telling him that the woman will not go to heaven and she's in hell. Because by activity, that's what we are deceived by what we see. But God sees the heart. That's why the best way for us to judge is to always ask God. To always be friend, to be close with God, to ask for God's opinion. We shall be led. As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the children of God. They are the sons of God. But if you are going to be led by what you see, most of the time we miss it. Most of the time we will make mistakes. So that's why it takes, don't judge. Don't just judge what you see. And don't judge at all without seeing the facts to the end. What you see is often deceptive. So the topic of today is love will not judge people's motives. So look at the evidences to the end and judge not, and you shall not be judged. For with what judgment you judge, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured back to you. But on the other hand, judge to let 2 or 3 speak after they have spoken, after they have lived their life. When you have the evidences, then you can judge now. Let the others judge. Judge only after you have all the facts. Love refuses to judge the motives of others. So if we love people, we know that they are created in the image and likeness of God. So we don't want to run ahead and judge them until they have proved us wrong. We have to assume that they are good. We have to assume that they are originally made in the image of God, likeness of God. They deserve to be respected. They deserve to be believed. They deserve to be trusted until they prove to us otherwise. It could so happen that those who do wrong could have better motives sometimes. And a lot of people could do wrongs. A lot of us also are like that. All of us do wrong. All of us are not perfect. All of us can do things that are wrong. But the heart is what God looks at. But so the motive is the heart of people. So how do we know people's heart? Be led by the Spirit of God and look at the facts on ground. So look at the fruit. Jesus said, by their fruit you shall know them. So look at the result. It could so happen that those who are wrong, sometimes we could be wrong. We all could be wrong sometimes. But it doesn't mean that we are bad people. It doesn't mean that our heart is bad. People who are doing wrong today, some of them might be, in our eyes, some of them might be the best people If we could just have more patience with them, if we could just give them benefit of a doubt, if we could just stretch out the hands of love to them, we might be able to discover the better part of them. Romans 8:1-2 says, there is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. So don't be judging people just by what you see. Look beyond what you see. Find out what is going on in their hearts. Look at their story. Look at their history. Don't be in a hurry to throw stones at people, especially people who are in Christ Jesus. You know, there is no condemnation for them if they don't walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. So people who are led by the Spirit, you see, the priority is being led by the Spirit of God. It is when you are led by the Spirit of God, you'll be able to do the right things. It is when you are led by the Spirit of God, you'll be able to take the right decision. It is when you are led by the Spirit of God, you will always be right. But if you just look at what you can see or hear, you will always be wrong. So if people are led by the Spirit, they will not be condemned. For the law of Spirit of life in Christ Jesus has made me free from the law of sin and death. So love believes a person until it proves otherwise. So that's what the point I'm trying to make, video. That if we live by love, if we live in love, we will believe people until they prove to us that otherwise, until they prove that they don't deserve to be believed, they don't deserve to be trusted, until we have facts and evidences that prove to us that no, these people are not trustworthy. Otherwise, we all could do wrong sometimes, but we should look beyond the wrong sometimes to see the heart and motives of people. You know, good people also could do wrong things, but if you look at their hearts, you'll be able to tell, is he originally bad? Is he really a bad person, or he just made mistake, or he just failed? All of us can fail, but look into the heart of people and say, no, I can sense this person is a good person. Yeah, he messed up. He missed it. Yes, he made a mistake. Yes, he took the right decision. Yes, the wrong decisions. Yes, he took the wrong decisions. He messed up. He did the wrong thing. But I could see his heart that is a good person. Okay, let's go ahead and have another video. Let's go back. Let's go back to this story. Let's start the story again. Go ahead. Just stop. Recently, a young couple had moved into a rural neighborhood. Living next to this new couple was Bill and Mary. Bill and Mary. One morning, while eating breakfast, this is the neighbor, Mary looked out through the window and watched a new young neighbor hanging out a wash. And you see the dirt, the stain, even though she has washed it, but it still has some stain, right? Okay, you see the stain. Okay, then the wife, Mary, told the husband, Bill, that laundry isn't very clean. The laundry isn't very clean, that the lady is not. Our young neighbor doesn't know how to get her clothes clean. You see how we judge people. So Mary is judging the neighbor, telling the husband about it, that she doesn't know how to wash. And women like to judge each other. I'm a better wife than her. I'm a better homemaker than the other lady. She doesn't know how to make a home. She doesn't know how to make things work. Okay, here we go. I think let's read the other one first. Yeah, so, yes. Our young neighbor doesn't know how to get her clothes clean. Okay? That's what Mary told Bill. Now, that's Bill. Bill read the paper and didn't say a word, you see? He's a thinker. He's a thinker. He's not judging. He's not in a hurry to judge. Stop. Now, this is the second day. The neighbor again, with, you see the dirt? Not very clean. Every time a new neighbor hung her laundry to dry, Mary will make the same comments that she's not a good housewife. She doesn't know how to clean. Okay, go ahead. Play. Bill continued to say nothing. That is, the husband continued to say nothing. A few weeks later, Mary was surprised to look out a window and see a nice, fresh, and clean roll of wash hung out to dry. See, no dirt, no patches. Everything is clean, perfect. That's after a few weeks. So Mary was surprised to see that the clothes are now very clean. Okay? In surprise, she said to her husband, "Look, Bill, the neighbor finally knows how to clean her laundry. She learned." Maybe she had me criticizing her, and she learned. Okay, let's go. I wonder what she learned. She said, "How did she learn?" Bill replied, "Honey, I might have an answer for you." This is the husband saying this. "Hey, my wife, don't be in a hurry, Mary. Maybe I have another answer for you, explanation for you." Okay? Mary said, "Really? What explanation could you have?" Then the husband says, "Yes, I do. I got up early this morning and washed our windows." I washed our windows. I guess we finally learned how to wash the windows. Now the woman finally learned how to wash her laundry, but it is we who finally wash our windows. What window are you looking out through? What window of life are you looking out? There is so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us that it hardly becomes any of us to talk about the rest of us. Edward Wallace Hush. Beautiful. Don't judge. We would be wise to focus on our own laundry before we worry about someone else's laundry. If we had focused on washing our own window, we wouldn't be worried, we wouldn't be bothered about somebody else's laundry if we have done our own laundry. Beautiful. So that's another reason why we shouldn't judge. We are everyone. What that is saying is that every one of us has something that is dealing with. We all have issues in life. There is nobody that doesn't have issues. So we don't judge people. You can only judge facts, evidences, actions, doctrines, patterns, proofs. Don't judge people. So love believes a person until he proves otherwise. So we should always think the best of somebody. Believe them, trust them, and trust the best in them. Believe the best in them. Wish the best for them. Believe the best always in people until they prove you wrong. Don't just judge people by what you heard from them or about them. Judge by the evidences of your own eyes, by your own experience of people. Don't judge people by what people say or what you have heard. We always make mistake when we do that. So, love, today's topic is love does not judge the motives of others. So, we don't judge people. We assume or presume everybody innocent until they themselves prove themselves wrong. We assume and presume everybody as the image and likeness of God, as perfect, until they themselves, through their actions or patterns or sayings, or until we have enough proof that they will prove us wrong, that no, they are the opposite, or they are not as good as we are presuming. But God created everybody good, and we should always think the best of people until they prove us wrong. So love will believe a person until it proves otherwise. Romans 14, 1-4 says, receive one who is weak in the faith, but not to dispute over doubtful things. There are a lot of things that are doubtful. If you are not sure of your facts, if you are not sure of the evidences and the facts, don't even discuss it. Talk less of disputing it. Just receive people and give them benefit of a doubt. Cover them. Assume that they are good. Assume. Give them the benefit of a doubt. Assume that they are perfect. They are nice. Until you have evidences beyond any, beyond any reasonable doubt. If you don't have facts and evidences beyond reasonable doubt, don't even discuss. Don't even open discussion with people. Don't doubt people. That's what he's saying here. But not to dispute over doubtful things. If you are still doubting, if you are not having the facts to absolutely prove to you that what you are saying is right, don't open discussion on it. So that's why I was always using videos to show what people are saying, so that I'm not just assuming, I'm not basing my evidence on what people have said or what somebody has said, but I'm using the facts, the evidences of what these people themselves are saying. So you must have facts that is beyond reasonable doubt before you could come to conclusion about anybody or about their practices. So that's what it's saying here. Otherwise, you will just be entering into disputes. So don't enter into disputes. Even if you think that people are weak, the Bible says receive them rather than entering into disputes over doubtful things. So you could only enter into disputes when you know beyond any reasonable doubt your facts and evidences are true. So don't just on rumors or on gainsay judge people. For one believes he may eat, you see, one may believe that he may eat all things, but he who is weak eats only vegetables. So some people might eat all things, while some people only eat vegetables. But let not him who eats despise him who does not eat. And let not him who does eat judge him who doesn't eat. So, give people the benefit of a doubt. Give people the benefit of a doubt. Let people act out according to their own level of faith. For God has received him. So if God has received him, who are you to judge, to condemn him? Who are you to judge another servant? To his own master he stands or falls. Indeed, he will be made to stand, for God is able to make him stand. So the bottom line of the topic of today is, love doesn't judge the motive of others. We think the best about others until they have made this motive to be materialized, to become facts and evidences. So we don't judge people, we judge evidences and facts. If you don't have reasons to doubt people, just believe them. So if you don't have reasons, evidences and facts, better to believe people, better trust people, better have the best relationship to people. Just behave to people as if they have never done anything wrong, as if they are perfect. Just think the best of people until you have evidences or reasons. If you don't have reasons to doubt them, believe them. That's what love does. Love believes all things until evidences are available to prove him wrong. Let's have a look at another video. Okay. Maybe we should do that a bit later. If you refuse to believe the best for others, you will reap the same from others. What you sow is what you reap. So if you don't believe, if you begin to doubt people, they will all begin to doubt you too. Unfortunately, this is not the kind of thing that the churches in Nigeria have taught people. In Nigerian churches, everybody is doubting somebody else. So in Nigeria right now, if you want to travel, you go to home group and say, I'm traveling next week. What day? Saturday, Sunday. You know you are traveling on Monday. You told them, I'm traveling Saturday. That's what people do in churches now. In churches today in Africa, your daughter is going to marry, and you just travel, JJ, and you are not telling anybody your daughter is wedding or your son is wedding. Why? Because doubt is sown in the church. We don't preach in African church. They don't preach love. They don't preach love that believes all things. The Bible says love believes all things. Love trusts in all. But what we have been taught in Africa is that, you shouldn't believe anybody. Well, if they are telling you shouldn't believe anybody, you shouldn't trust anybody, that means they are telling you shouldn't walk in love. Because love believes all things. Love trusts all things. Love trusts at all times. Love believes at all times. So if you are living in an atmosphere of suspicion, it means you don't have love. If you are living in an atmosphere of suspecting people and not being able to trust each other, it means love is destroyed in that environment. It means love is being eliminated, destroyed. Trust is a proof of love. Belief is a proof of love. Faith is a proof of love. Doubt is a proof of lack of love. So in Africa right now, people are rather telling you to be suspicious of your neighbors, of your brothers and sisters, of your parents even, of your relatives. Some people are even suspicious of their family members. Some people are suspicious of their spouses. Why? Because they tell you, this is this person that is after you. It is this other person that is behind your problem. It is your brother that is behind your problem. It is your sister that is behind your problem. So somebody is pregnant, for example, and is having an issue in that pregnancy, but he's not telling anybody in the home group, whereas in the home group there is a specialist there. There is a doctor there, a nurse that has the answer to the pregnancy, to the problem of the pregnancy of that woman until she lost the pregnancy. And now that she lost the pregnancy, she's now saying it is those people who are against it. But you never told them that you had people. Everybody is afraid of telling anybody the truth. Because the whole country has been based and built on doubt and on fear and telling everybody that, somebody is after you, someone. That is not love. It's not an atmosphere of love. Love believes all. Love trusts all until evidences are provided to prove otherwise. 1 Corinthians 13:7 says, love always protects. Love trusts always. This is the wrong translation here. I think it said love believeth all things. It is the wrong translation I got here. Love hopes always. Love perseveres always. So love is always trusting. Love always believes. Love is always, love believes the best in people. Love trusts the best in people. That is what love does. That 1 Corinthians 13 verse 7. That's the chapter of love. Love will believe the best in people. Love will hope the best and hope the best for people. Love hopes in all things. Let's have a look at this video here. This video will be able to help us to convey this message. Here we go. Volume. We need to start already.
Judging other people is fundamentally wrong. It's impossible to know someone's reasons and all their thoughts. You can never know for sure what motives are behind their action. Maybe they had good intention, but something went wrong. On the other hand, judging other people is part of our nature. We cannot completely eliminate it, and we should not. But we can reduce it, and here's a way to do it. 1. Start carrying a notepad, or creating a note on your smartphone. 2. Each time you catch yourself judging, put a big X. This will make you aware of your judging habit. 3. Try to reverse the feeling. Think of a positive explanation for the person's behavior. 4. Maybe you can help. Many times, just trying to understand and asking neutral questions will be enough. 5. Instead of judging, just accept who this person is. Everyone has a bad day, and everyone makes mistakes. If you stop judging, you will be happier. Instead of looking at people's bad sides, you will try to find the positives. If you try to help, you can get closer and gain their trust. Start practicing with those that you judge the most, usually your family and your closest friends. They'll love it.
Beautiful. Let's start all over again. Okay. Let the volume be there.
Judging other people is fundamentally wrong. It's impossible to know someone's reasons and all their thoughts. You can never know for sure.
So we don't judge people because it is fundamentally wrong to judge people because we don't know all what that person is going through. We are not aware of all the processes of what is happening in the mind and in the life of people. So somebody might have even done something wrong, but we don't know the story behind the story. So that's why it's wrong to judge. Okay?
You never know for sure what motives are behind their action. Maybe they had good intention, but something went wrong.
So, at times, even people who are good can do things wrong. More so, some people might even be doing things wrong, even though their intention is right. They have good intention, but things go wrong. And all of us have been there. There is no individual who has not been in this place. So it's a lesson for us not to be in a hurry to judge people. Okay?
On the other hand, judging other people is part of our nature. We cannot completely eliminate it, and we should not. But we can reduce it, and here's a way to do it.
Stop. So, all of us fall into the temptation of judging people, especially by what we don't like, when they do something against what we like. So, we can fight it. So how can you reduce being judgmental in yourself? How can you work against a judgmental spirit? So if you have a note now, take a pen and write it down, and we are going to go step by step and see how we can, stop being judgmental. Okay?
1. Start carrying a notepad or creating a note on your smartphone.
Stop. So which means to stop judging people and stop being judgmental, it has to be intentional. You have to be determined to stop judging people. It has to be intentional. You have to make up your mind that I want to remove this habit in my life. I want to eradicate it. And how do you eradicate it? By following yourself, by observing your life, your own actions, your behaviors. So you have to study yourself. And how do you best study yourself? By having a notebook or a planchette where you are recording that. You have to be catching yourself. I just caught myself that I've judged it today. So you have to reduce. Let's say in a day, the first week you discover that you judge people 5 times in a day. That's how much you caught yourself. When you begin to take note, what that helps you to do is that by next week, maybe from 5 times a day, you are now judging maybe twice a day. Maybe the other week, you are now judging not 5 times a day, but 1 time a day. So you'll be able to fix your progress, and that is how you'll be able to change your habits, okay?
2. Each time you catch yourself judging, put a big X. This will make you aware of your judging habit.
Stop. So which means that you write down how many times you judge in a day. So 6 times. This is not just about judgment. This is about any action or any behavior whatsoever. How many times have you judged? 6 times in a day. So you write it. But by the time you catch yourself like this, then you'll be able to follow it and say, okay, now I'm less until you totally eradicate it, okay?
3. Try to reverse the feeling. Think of a positive explanation for the person's behavior.
Okay, now, the way the mind works is that we have recording. We record, our brain records information. So before, when you are judging, that was a reflex. It's a reflex that has been developed. Now that reflex still remains, but you have to now reverse it. So instead of it responding that way, judgmental, you have to record something on that reflex. That is to say, instead of condemning, you still have that track in your brain. So you just have to replace it with something else. So what is the opposite of judging? That is compliment. So instead of seeing what is negative in other people, begin to say, okay, I want to begin to see what is positive. So you are right, you are judging 5 times a day. Now begin to do 5 times compliment in a day. Even if you don't tell the person, but tell in yourself, look what you could learn from them. Look for what you could, what they are doing right, what is good about them. So that way, that positive thing is erasing the negative thing that you used to do. Okay, here I go.
4. Maybe you can help. Many times, just trying to understand and asking neutral questions will be enough.
Stop. So after now you have dealt with you have cancelled condemnation, and now you are thinking positive about people. Now you can take one more step further. The step of being a Christian, of empathy, of trying to say, maybe I can help this person. So this person is doing something bad. Okay. Maybe he doesn't know better. Maybe I could exchange my own experience with him. Maybe I could teach him. Maybe I could help him. Maybe I could give him some advice. Maybe he needs my help. Maybe he doesn't need my help. Even if he doesn't need my help, I could use my experience that I got in not judging him to share it with other people. So I've learned, nevertheless, either I'm going to use my experience to help him, or I'm going to use it to help other people. But either way, I've learned and I've become a better person. And I can now make other people a better person. Okay?
5. Instead of judging, just accept who this person is. Everyone has a bad day, and everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah, so just give the person the benefit of the doubt. Just decide that I am not judging. Now, so what do we do then if this person is really doing bad things and I have evidences of the bad things he does? So does that mean I have to accept his bad things and his bad habits and his bad behavior and his bad attitudes and habits? No. What it means is that when you have your evidences that this person is doing really things that are bad and you have the proofs, what you do is that you judge the evidences, you judge the proofs, you, on the basis of the proof, come to conclusions, but you don't judge the man. That is like saying God hates sin, but he loves the sinner. So even though you judge and condemn the habit, like let's say for example homosexuals or lesbians, you can judge and condemn the habit, but you can still love the individual. So what we are talking about is that don't judge the person, even though you are judging the habit, or you are judging the evidences, or the patterns, the behavior, or things like that you see before you. Okay, here I go.
If you stop judging, you will be happier. Instead of looking at people's bad sides, you will try to find the positives. If you try to help, you can get closer and gain their trust. Start practicing with those that you judge the most, usually your family and your closest friends. They'll love it.
So for you to be able to live like this, you've got to practice it. And but most important thing is love people, judge practices, condemn practices or behaviors, but love individuals. Okay? So love keeps on hoping for the best in people. Hope for the best in people. Think of the best in people, because love hopes. Did you change the translation? Okay, let's go back to that Corinthians. 1 Corinthians says, 13:7 says, love bears all things, so suffers all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. See, believes all things. And that's what we are talking about today. Love does not judge the motive of others. It will first of all believe, and then we will stop believing only after facts have been presented. Evidences have been presented. Otherwise, love will keep on hoping for the best. So love hopes in all things. Love hopes for the best, expects the best from people. Romans 14:5-6 says, one person esteems one day above another, another esteems every day alike. Let each be fully convinced in his own mind. He who observes the day observes it to the Lord, and he who does not observe the day. So only somebody who gives benefit of a doubt can think like this. Only someone who is full of love can think like this. To the Lord, he does not observe it. He who eats to the Lord, he eats to the Lord, for he gives thanks to God. And he who does not eat, to the Lord he does not eat, and gives God thanks. So don't judge people. That's what he says. He has his motives. He has his reasons. Don't judge. Love doesn't judge people's motives. So love gives the power to hope. Hope the best. Hope the best for people. Love hopes the best. Is believing and hoping the best in people. Love gives the power to hope no matter what's going on. You still hope for the best and expect the best. Love hopes because love believes in a superior, more powerful God. Let's look for that video of the guy that was in prison with the black guy who was crying, that killed the daughter, mother and daughter. You will see the way this part of love that we are talking about today, we will see the way it works. This love that doesn't judge motives. Can you imagine somebody's peace? Can you come? Let's say you have a daughter and a granddaughter, and a granddaughter or a grandson. Grandson. So you have a daughter, and your daughter has a son. So you have a daughter and a grandson, and somebody comes and kills the two of them. And maybe that's the only child you have.
Wow.
And the only grandson. Now, but you see, this woman, the mother of the daughter and the grandson, she is a woman of love. She loves so much that she keeps on hoping and giving benefit of a doubt. Love believes against hope. Love believes in all things. Love hopes in all things. Love bears all things. So you know what they did? After they have caught the person, the man was caught. and was given life imprisonment. He was going to die, suffer and dying. You know what the woman did? The woman whose daughter and grandson was killed, she started going to visit, even the relatives of that killer, all of them rejected him. So nobody was going to visit him in the hospital. They rejected him, and nobody was giving him, bringing food for him or visiting him. No relatives. Because they think he was too wicked. But this woman, whose daughter and grandson were killed, was the only one going to forgive. She didn't just forgive in her heart, but she went to meet. He didn't even want to meet with her because he was ashamed. Ashamed. But she kept on knocking until he allowed her to come in. And then he started telling her, and she started telling him and convincing him that don't worry, that you killed my daughter and grandson, I've forgiven you, don't worry. And nobody is here for you now, you are going to die, but I am there for you. I'm going to love you. Not to get, there is nothing you can get from him because he's going to be there in prison for the rest of his life. But I want to show you the love of God. That what is the love that makes me to forgive you? I know that you are a good person because God created everybody good initially. So there is a reason why you became a killer. There is something that has driven you to become a murderer. But originally, God created you well. God created everybody good. And when in chapter 1 of Genesis, every time he created something, he said, it is good. God looked and said, behold, it is good. So you are good inside. So what has happened is that Satan has come and put a lot of garbage and dirt upon you. But when you remove all those garbage, everything, you will discover that inside you there is gold. You will discover the nature of God inside of you. So God is in you, despite everything you have done. So that garbage, there is something Satan used to put those dirt. So everybody is now seeing only dirt, but I'm going to help you through love. I'm going to have patience with you to remove all the garbage, all the dirt. And when we finish removing it, you will discover that God, nature of God, the image of God is in you. You are the best person. You are as good as God. Let's begin to work on it. So she will be coming to work, to do Bible class, Bible studies with him. Until the guy broke down. Love overcame. You see, that's why the Bible says that we shouldn't overcome evil by evil or evil with evil, but with love. Overcome evil with love. Love is the only power that can overcome everything. Love is the only power that can overcome evil. Evil itself can only multiply evil. Evil cannot overcome evil. It can only overcome, multiply it. So there is the only force in life that can overcome evil is love. But for you to be able to make love work, you yourself have to carry love. Like that woman. You yourself have to be an epitome of love. You yourself have to understand this love. And how can you love somebody who is a killer of your daughter, your only daughter and your grandson? You only by knowing that the nature of God in every human being is in every man. The image of God, the nature of God. The likeness of God is the original thing that is inside. And that every evil that we do, every evil that men do, is because Satan has come to deceive. And Satan has come to put all those things on top. But those things, just like garbage, you can remove them and clean them up. You will see, maybe today we will show the third part of my biography. You will see the way, that's how we work with the drug addicts here also. Clean them up through love. But for you to be able to have that kind of love, you must keep on seeing the nature of God. You yourself must be convinced of that love. That love must be part and parcel of you. Then you can give it. Because that love cannot assume that somebody is bad. That love will only be focusing on the nature of God, on the best. You cannot assume that someone is bad. Even when you see the evidence, like killing your daughter or your grandson, you still believing in the best because you know what the word of God says, that originally God created everybody in his own image. That knowledge of how God created us to function by love is what makes you to know that love will change that person. And that is that love that makes you to keep on, persevering until you see result. Let's hear the story.
I remember my stepfather, would beat me, and he would beat me with extension cords and hangers and, pieces of wood and all kinds of stuff. And, after every beating, he would tell me, it hurt me more than it hurt you. And, I only did it because I love you. It was kind of, it communicated the wrong message to me about what love was. So for many years, I thought that love was supposed to hurt. And I hurt everyone that I loved. And I measured love by how much pain someone would take from me. And it wasn't until I came to prison in an environment that is devoid of love that I began to have some sort of understanding about what it actually was and was not. And I met someone, and she gave me my first real insight into what love was, because she saw past my conditions and the fact that I was in prison with a life sentence for murder. And not only for murder, but for doing the worst kind of murder that a man can do, murdering a woman and a child. And it was Agnes, the mother and grandmother of Patricia and Chris, the woman and child that I murdered, who gave me my best lesson about love, because by all rights she should hate me. But she didn't. And over the course of time and through the journey that we took, that's been pretty amazing. She gave me love. And she taught me what it was.
I think I need you again.
Okay.
So when that woman kept, he's an unlovable, there's no way to love such a person. But because of the love that kind of woman had, after killing her daughter and the grandson, so what kind of love? That is only God's love. To look beyond the action of the man and still keep on hoping for the best. So not that the woman agreed to the action, no. The woman didn't accept the death of her own daughter and grandson, no. The woman, of course, she's sad that her daughter is, but what she did is that she condemned definitely the action of the guy. That's why the guy is in prison. She took it to court. She condemned the action. She hated the action. And he is being punished for the action. Not that she just say, I forgive you, so don't bear consequences for your action. Because sometimes people don't understand love and forgiveness. That I've forgiven you, my heart. I love you as an individual. Doesn't mean that I have to accept your action, evil that you did. But the fact that I also condemn the evil you did doesn't mean that I condemn you. I don't know if you can get, but a lot of people cannot separate that two. So, for example, I just saw in the comment now, somebody said, so, but you are condemning Adeboye. No, that is what I'm trying to say. I was condemning the doctrines of Adeboye, the practices of Adeboye. But Adeboye himself, when I see him tomorrow, I'm going to lie down like this. I'm going to greet him, honor him, respect him. I pray for him. I wish him the best. I respect him for what he has done. I love Adeboye. I love Akumuyi. I love Suleiman. I love all of them. But I've got to condemn the wrong that is being done. I've got to condemn the practices, the evil practices, the evil doctrines, the wrong doctrines. Just like the woman, she is not happy that, oh, you killed my son, or my daughter, or my granddaughter, oh, okay. No. She condemned, she even took him to court. And in court, he's even in jail now for the rest of his life. But him, as an individual, she loved. Knowing that what you did, it is because of Satan that you did it. Satan deceived you to do it. It's what you did is evil. What you did is satanic. But you yourself, you are good. Even he himself couldn't believe that he is good. But she is now coming to convince him that you are good. The nature of God is in you. God created you originally with the nature of God and likeness of God. So I love you. It is that love that the woman used to convince him. So after the woman has convinced him finish that you are loved, I love you and I've forgiven you. What you have done, I cannot reverse it. I cannot bring my daughter back. I cannot bring my granddaughter back. And I cannot release you from this place, because maybe you will still go and kill another person. You are bearing the consequence of your action. But you, I love you. I've forgiven you. You are my son now. I adopt you even as my son. So even if it is my son that has done evil, he has to bear the consequences, but I still love him. So that woman was able to prove to him her love. Now, after she had proved to him her love, then that love broke him. And removed all the dirt, all the evil. The evil spirit left him. The love cast out the evil spirit. The spirit of murderer, the murderer spirit left the man. The man's eyes opened. The man started thinking back. Why did I become like this? Why is it that I'm killing people and I think I love them? I'm killing people and I'm feeling pleasure out of it. And the reason is because the memory, the mind, the way the mind works is that our mind can record, our mind cannot separate, cannot distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. Anything that is recorded into it is what the mind believes. So if you have never been taught that something is wrong, if you have always been taught that this is the right way to do things, your mind will record it as the right way to do things. Even though that is a wrong thing. For example, why is it that most of the homosexuals, people who become homosexuals, they believe, up till today, they are believing in with all their heart that they are homosexuals from birth. But if you look into their story, you will discover that the reason why they are homosexual is because somebody had sexually molested them from when they were very young. 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old. So that is their first experience. And it is the only experiences, sexual experiences that they grew up knowing. So because they were abused from time to time, that in their mind has been recorded that sex, even though they didn't like it, even though they might have hated it or something, but it has been recorded in their mind that that is what sex is. So when they grew up, they still became homosexual, and they are saying that is how they were born, because that's what was recorded initially by that abuse. So they now believe that, no, that is who I am. So you are now coming to them later on to tell them that that is a sin, that is wrong. they think you are against them. So in the case of this man, why was he killing? He was not just only killed those ones. He said he was killing and hurting everybody, killing all the people, through rape. And there are a lot of people in the world now like this. And what they are doing is that, they call them sadists. And what they do is that they will be inflicting pain on a woman. Some of them will be cutting the knife of a woman's body or doing something that is very painful, cutting her body, and or making a woman. Some of them will put shame in the woman's neck and make a woman to be crawling on the ground like this. All kind of things to be making her feel pain. She will be crying, and when she's crying like that, they are receiving pleasure. Because the only way they can now receive pleasure is through hurting other people. So how did he get there? How did that happen to him? What happened is that when he was a child, his parents, the mother, the father left, so the mother remarried. So when he was very young. So the person the mother married was a wicked person like that, like a sadist. He takes pleasure in hurting somebody. So that father is the stepfather now. The stepfather will always be hurting him, beating him hard, and telling him, I love you. That is love. So his memory, his head, recorded it that love and pain is the same. So whenever I want to feel love, I must inflict pain. That is what his memory, that is what his mind recorded. That love is expressed through pain. If I like a woman, I must go and inflict pain on her. Then when she's crying, I am released. When she's dying, so the more pain I inflict, the more pleasure I get. That is how he lost all his family members. All the people he loved, all the people he wanted to marry, everybody he liked, he was inflicting pain on them. That is how those people, sadist people, are born. But it was recorded in him. Even though he must have heard that is wrong, and he knows that people are crying and things like that, so it's a secret. That's why those people live in secret. So when we were doing those, it will be because he knows that the general public doesn't accept it. So in public it will be okay. That is why they normally do those things to women through love. Because you cannot just go to anybody in the street and do that. So they would always say, it is, because what happened in the family, not too many people know. It's like, it's your family relationship. So, but in the public, you'll be like a good person. So that is why a lot of abuses in families is coming from this thing. Because a lot of those people who abuse in the other people in family is because they are, the track in the brain, the pleasure track and the pain track, they are parallel. But for some people, it has crossed. They cannot differentiate anymore. The pleasure track and the pain track. So it has crossed because they have been stimulated. That pleasure part and the pain, they are not supposed to be. They are two parallel something. But in this case, when they are saying, I love you, I'm giving you pleasure, and I love you, but I'm giving you pain, it is making the two lines to cross. Pleasure and pain. They are supposed to be opposite. So that is what happened to this man. So now that this other woman, whose daughter was killed and the granddaughter was killed, now came to explain that no, that is not love. Look at love. Look at what Jesus did. He was a son of God. He was in heaven enjoying life. But he left heaven where everything is good and nice, comfort. He left his comfort zone to come down to the earth to suffer. So if you love somebody, you are the one that they should suffer for them, not making them suffer. You deprive yourself. You make yourself suffer. You deprive yourself to make people you love feel good. When you love somebody, you don't want them to suffer. You want to protect them from suffering. Because Jesus loved us like that. He went to the cross to take suffering upon himself. So that we that he loved will not go to hell. To prevent us from great suffering in hell, he went to take the suffering upon himself. That is what love is. Yeah. Love will always deny himself, suffer, take on himself pain, take on himself shame, take on himself deprivation, take on himself insult to protect the one that he loves, so that the one that he loves will not suffer those things. That is love. So that is why one day here I was teaching and a lot of men left my platform. Now they have not come back, because I said, when you say you love a woman and then you are saying, I will pay for the rent and you will pay for the food, I will pay for the car, you will pay for gasoline, I love you but it's 50-50. That I don't believe in that kind of love. Me, I don't know. That is why I preach that message. Why my wife doesn't cook and why I don't drive and my wife doesn't cook. Because if I love somebody, that's why I went to marry her, to say I want to pleasure you. I want so that you will never need to suffer anything. I am your husband. I love you. I take upon myself all the responsibility. That is what love is. And then the woman would serve you and repay you in a way that only women know how to repay. But for you to say, I love you, but it's 50-50, okay, you go and do that for me. It is, I don't understand that. But now some people are even telling me now, especially in the UK, I don't know, somebody in the UK might know this or not. I spoke to somebody yesterday in the UK, from the UK, and the lady told me that all her girlfriends that she knows, that in the UK, if you find a lady that is under 30, that is married, either is because she is the one paying for the man's, she is rather, not just that the man is paying for everything, no. Either they are paying 50-50, or it is the man, the woman himself who is even paying. Yes. So I said, so because how can you say you love a woman and then she's the one paying for you? Me, I don't understand that though. Because you are saying you love her and she should come and marry you, leave her father's house to follow you, and then she should be going to work to support you. When you love, it should be like, you should look at the picture of Jesus. And the picture of Jesus is that he loved so much, he left comfort, he left enjoyment to stop the suffering of people he loved and to give them enjoyment. But he was suffering so that they will all go to heaven and rejoice together. Then he went to the cross, suffering, took the suffering that we humans deserve, went to the cross to take it on himself on the cross, so that the person he loved, the human that he loved, will not go to hell to suffer forever. He took that suffering on himself alone. That is love. Love gives. So that is the thing that woman proved to this guy. And it is then that this guy got to know that, and what was he doing? He was, anybody he loved, he will inflict pain on them. So he is receiving pleasure, but somebody else is receiving pain. That is not love. That is the opposite of love. So when you are the one receiving pleasure and another person is suffering, that is not love. In families today, that thing is confused. Some people don't know the difference. So in families today, one partner is suffering, while the other one is just say, I'm enjoying. That is not love. That is why I think that everybody must listen to my series on love. On family. I have a series called Family Series. The Family Series, I spoke about what kind of man, how should a man be, how should a husband be, how should a wife be, what kind of woman, how should a woman be, how can a wife be, how can children be, all anything relating to family is there in that series. And how should a woman that is not married, a single woman be, how should a single man be, how should they relate to each other, what's the difference between them, all that is in the family series. But I see that many people are not listening to the family series, because it is, love is totally different from what we are seeing in the family today. For example, in my own church here, there are families that says, okay, we want to do family control. A man is saying, I don't want children anymore. No, I don't want children anymore. We are only going to have 3 children. So they have 3 children, no more children. So you know what the men were doing? The men were going to tell their wives, go and put spiral or something. Go and put something inside. Go and do operation.
Birth control.
Yeah, go and put birth control. Go and do operation. Or go and remove your womb. Or go and block your something. They are the husband. They are the head of the family. And they are telling her, she should go and do the control. She should go and do the operation. She should go and cut herself. She should go and do the thing. But in our church today, nobody does that. I told them that no, if you are the head of the family and you are the one who asked her to marry you, you should take responsibility for it. So what a men do in our family, in our church right now, is that men are the ones who must go to the hospital when they have decided that they don't want to have children anymore. Even if they are 25 or 26, they must go to the hospital and do the operation to block the road. So now it is men in our church who go to do operation to stop the cord. And the operation of the men is much more easier than the women. It's a one-day operation for the men. It's very easy. But for the women, it can affect many other things. It's more complicated. But normally, men will push women to go and think of how you want to birth control. But in our church now, I've now taught the men. Now the men are the ones who take responsibility. That is love. Wow. But when you are pushing the other one there, that's not love. That is self-interest, self-gain.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's watch that interview again. Thank you.
Okay.
Let's watch that story again. Yeah.
I remember my stepfather.
That
would beat me, and he would beat me with extension cords and hangers and pieces of wood and all kinds of stuff. And after every beating, he would tell me, it hurt me more than it hurt you. And I only did it because I love you. It was kind of, it communicated the wrong message to me about what love was. So for many years, I thought that love was supposed to hurt. And I hurt everyone that I loved. And I measured love by how much pain someone would take from me. And it wasn't until I came to prison in an environment that is devoid of love that I began to have some sort of understanding about what it actually was and was not. And I met someone, and she gave me my first real insight into what love was, because she saw past my condition and the fact that I was in prison with a life sentence for murder, and not only for murder, but for doing the worst kind of murder that a man can do, murdering a woman and a child. And it was Agnes, the mother and grandmother of Patricia and Chris, the woman and child that I murdered, who gave me my best lesson about love, because by all rights she should hate me. But she didn't. And over the course of time, and through the journey that we took, that's been pretty amazing. She gave me love. And she taught me what it was.
So I hope we are getting it. I hope we are getting it. So that woman is an epitome of love. So what does love do? Love gives the power to hope. That woman was a woman of love. She had hope that her love will change the man. And did hope work? It worked. Did love work? It worked. That hope didn't fail her. That's the power of love. Love always hopes. You see, the scripture we read before then was, love bears all things. Love believes all things. Love hopes all things. Love endures all things. The woman passed all these tests. Love gives the power to hope, no matter what's going on. Can you imagine what kind of pain that woman was feeling? Daughter and grandson were killed by this man. But she hoped for the best and she got it. Love always wins. Love never fails. And love never failed her. Love hopes because love believes in a superior, more powerful God. A God that is above all things you might be going through now. You see? Love that loves you for the best. Love you for the best at all times. Hopes, love loves for the hopes for the love loves you for the best at all times. Love hopes for the best for people in future, in circumstances, in all circumstances. Love has faith in itself. Love is positive thinking. Love is not negatively inclined. Love is optimistic at all times. Love endures all things. It bears all things. You know what? I just feel like we should receive calls. Maybe there are some people who might want to contribute, who might want to talk about this love we are talking about. But the topic of today is love does not judge the motives of others. That woman, if she had judged the motive of this guy, that he just hated my daughter, hated my grandson, he wanted to destroy my joy. But the motive of the guy was not like that, though. Only that he had a corrupted concept of love. He was thinking that is the way to love, and he was killing people. You see, I always remember this story of the man that died and went to heaven, and he told the preacher and said, the pastor, they met Jesus, and Jesus said, go and tell everybody that I want everybody to come to heaven. And the pastor said, what do you mean everybody? Everybody. He said, yes, everybody. Including the homosexuals and the lesbians. He said, yes. No. I will not allow a homosexual to come to my church or lesbians. And Jesus said, no, go and tell every one of them that I'm waiting for them. I've already died for them to come here. He said, no, that's not right. What about me? We are okay. But they are, then he said, okay, no. Okay, I understand homosexual. But what about the pedophiles? The ones that are raping children and killing them? You mean even those ones, you want them to come to this heaven? And Jesus said, yes. So when the man pastor there say, no, I can't understand this. Then Jesus said, don't judge. Even you yourself, you don't qualify to be here. None of you is qualified. Not them, not you, nobody is qualified. I paid the price for all of you to be here already. I already paid the price for everything. Then he said, but pedophiles, they can never out. Pedophiles, I mean, do you know? Jesus, I know them more than you. But apart from, in opposite of you, you don't know the reason why they became like that. But I know that there are stories. You don't know their stories. You don't know what led them to that. You don't know, maybe they too are victims. You see, we don't know the story of that man, that he is a victim too. Jesus says, it's not your problem. Your own deal is to go and tell them that I love them and I'm waiting for them here. That's why I paid for everybody. Because I know the story behind the story. You don't know the story behind the story, but I know it. So that man now, they are going to kill him. He's going to die in that, that was raging. He's going to die in that prison. But men will never understand, but God will understand. What the story is telling now, that his grandfather, that his stepfather and everything. Men might not even believe him, but God knows. Hello, we have a caller. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes, who is calling?
Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Okay, yes, hi Dr. Sonny, this is Albertina.
Albertina, it's been a while. What is the name of your book? We need to recommend your book. Can you get Albertina's book so that we can advertise it also? Because your book is powerful. I read it. Your book is talking about exactly what I'm talking about now. Can you remind me the name of your book again?
Loving the Unlovable.
Yes.
Unlovable.
Yes, that's it. Loving the Unlovable. We are going to put it on here so that people could look for it. Loving the Unlovable. Albertina, yes. But I'm hearing your contribution. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Pastor Sonny, this message, I haven't been coming because I'm in solitude, but I came on today, and this message is really touching me. And I really want us to focus on the kid that did the shooting in Florida. I know a lot of people want to crucify me for saying this, but I want us to pray for him, because that kid, when I listened to his story yesterday, I know he killed 17 children. That was very painful. But when I listened to his story yesterday, he was a troubled child. His father died 10 years ago, and his adopted mother just passed from flu and pneumonia. He was searching for love and acceptance in all of the wrong places. And he got manipulated by the devil to do wrong things. He thought that's how he was going to be heard. He thought that's how he was going to be loved. He thought that's how he was going to be accepted. So he went and did that killing. He killed those children. He hurt those hearts of those parents. I cried yesterday. I found myself laying down last night, midnight, praying for him, Nicola Cruz. Nicola's Lord, forgive him, because he is still loved by God. He is a servant. He is a child of God. He was created for a purpose. God had an assignment on his life, but it was interfered by the devil. So God gave me a new movement to go into the schools, to gather troubled teenagers, to love them, to care for them, to show them love. Nicholas wanted love. He did not have anybody to love him. He did not have no love. He was living with another family. How did they not know that he had all those guns in his room? Because nobody cares. Nobody cares where he slept. Nobody cares what he did. Nobody was concerned about him. So he was doing things, the devil was whispering all the wrong things in his ears. That's why he did that. So I want us to pray for him. That while I know he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life, but that he will encounter Jesus in prison. So that he will repent and he still have a chance. He's only 19 years old. He still have a chance to go to heaven, to sit at the right hand of Jesus. Because that's how Jesus sees him. Jesus still found hope in him. He can repent and find Jesus. So let's pray for him that he will meet Jesus while he is in prison. That's my contribution for today.
Beautiful. Yes. Beautiful. Maybe we should also be starting ministry to prisons and go and reach out to people like that in prison and give them a chance.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. The Lord
Beautiful.
told me last night to go into schools to find troubled children. There are a lot of children that are troubled in school. They are finding pleasure and hope in drugs. They are finding pleasure and hope in alcohol because nobody loved them. Nobody cared for them. So that's the new movement he has birthed in my spirit to go into the high school, the middle schools, to show love to those troubled teenagers. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Pastor Sunday.
Thank you, Albertina. That is Albertina's book. Loving the Unlovable. Please go and look for it on Amazon and let's buy that book and let's reach out in love. Let's go and teach people love. You could see from Albertina's call that she is a woman of love herself. She's an exemplification of love. And so this a book. I read the book and the book is so powerful. And so please let's get that book. If you find it difficult to love people or people who are unlovable, this book is the thing you should look for. Let's look for the book and be able to have the heart, the kind of heart that Albertina has. So I think, do you have the film, the third part of this something? Second, okay. Maybe we could watch it. Okay, we are going to show, we don't have a caller right now, so I'm going to show the film about our life here in Ukraine. And then we will be able to, because the story of what God has done through me here in Ukraine could be explained by love. It's a story of love, and it's only thanks to love that we've been able to do what we've been able to do here in Ukraine. Okay, so we're going to have the film, and maybe anybody who wants to call then can call after this film. Okay, here we go.
You're watching the Embassy of God program.
Stage Episcopal Bishop from Nigeria and his team.
The Lord when I led the tremble, Jehovah, you are the most high God. Jehovah, you are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high God. Jehovah, you are the most high. You are the most high God. El Shaddai, you are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high God. Jehovah, you are the most high. Messiah, you are the most high God. Almighty, you are the most high. Jehovah, you are the most high. Worship Jehovah, you are the most high God. El Shaddai, you are the most high. El Shaddai, you are the most high. El Shaddai, you are the most high. Alpha and Omega, you are the most high. Alpha and Omega, you are the most high.
Hallelujah. We are here to celebrate
the prayer of Bashimoni. Pastor Sunday Takoi.
Do you understand why Pastor Sunday is like that? All the people from Nigeria are like this.
because all Nigerians are like that.
So let's come closer. So I want to celebrate with our brother, Pastor Sunday, and his lovely princess.
Мы хотим присоединиться и праздновать вместе с нашим братом, пастором Сандеем и его принцессой.
We look few in numbers.
Нас, кажется, не очень много.
But we are representing over 150 million Nigerians.
Но мы представляем сейчас более чем 140 миллионов нигерийцев.
Nigeria is the most populous nation, black nation in the whole world.
На самом деле Нигерия это самая популярная нация темнокожая во всем мире.
And God is changing the fortunes and destiny of Nigeria to be the best that God wants them to be.
И Бог изменяет судьбы Нигерии, чтобы они были лучшим из того, что Бог хочет из них сделать.
Nigeria is no longer famed for notorious things, but for the gospel of Jesus, because right now we are the world's second largest exporter of missionaries.
Уже теперь Нигерию знают не просто как страну, откуда выходят плохие вещи и преступления, но она является второй в мире страной, которая посылает миссионеров по всему миру.
So we want to celebrate God for your life.
И поэтому мы хотим праздновать сегодня и радоваться вместе с Богом за вашу жизнь.
We want to say we are very proud of you.
Мы хотим сказать, что мы очень гордимся вами.
From the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria,
от пятидесятников Нигерии,
Lagos State Chapter,
а также от верующих Нигерии, Лагоса,
the National Chapter,
национального собрания,
and from our state chairman,
а также от нашего главы,
Pastor Wale Adefarasi,
от пастора Валио,
and from the National Reformation Council,
а также от Национального совета реформации,
which the Lord has used you to inspire and to encourage and to fire up,
который был образован благодаря вашему вдохновению и огню, который вы зажгли.
Samadeyemi, Professor Yemi Oshibaju,
профессор Эми Ошибаджу,
our own very pastor Tony Rapu,
а также пастыря, которые стоят здесь.
He's one of our national leaders after the new order.
Это один из наших национальных лидеров в новом порядке.
Apostle John
и апостол Джон.
And so many other notable Nigerians.
А также множество других известных нигерийцев.
We want to say thank you for yielding yourself to be an ambassador in this nation.
Хотят сказать вам спасибо вам за то, что вы сделали себя послом в этом народе.
And you have become the apostolic ambassador of God to the Western world.
И вы также стали апостольским послом Божьим для всего западного мира.
And so my wife would like to sing that special song for you.
И моя жена и я мы хотим спеть эту особенную песню для вас.
And then Pastor Afolabi Olaoye would like to greet you in your own very tongue.
И затем пастор поздравит вас на вашем родном языке.
And we will say a word of prayer in 1 minute so that we don't take too much time.
И мы займем только 1 минуту для молитвы и все, больше не займем времени.
Well, I hope that all the good things that you've been praying for will be yours as you walk with the Lord. And I pray that you will always have the courage to obey and to learn to know the power of His love. And I know that there will be trials as you walk along this way, but I know He'll be there to see you through. And I know that you will always have the courage to obey Him as you learn to do the things He asks you to do. So we are all saying, God bless you.
God bless you.
Jesus loves you. May His peace and joy go with you all the way. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. May His fellowship go with you all the way.
says,
Библия говорит,
with great power, the apostles gave witness to the resurrection of the Lord
с
Jesus.
великой силой свидетельствовали апостолы о воскресении Иисуса
And
Христа.
great grace was upon them all.
И на всех и них была благодать.
We want to tell you, Pastor
И
Sunday,
мы хотим сказать вам, пастор Сандей,
remain approachable,
будьте доступны для Бога,
touchable,
будьте доступны для людей,
accessible,
будьте, давайте себя,
humble,
будьте смиренны,
simple.
будьте просты.
For in those qualities, fruit of the Spirit, lies your anointing.
Потому что в этих плодах Святого Духа заключено ваше помазание.
Wherefore God resisted the proud,
Мы знаем, что Бог противится гордым,
but gives grace to the humble.
но дает благодать смиренным.
The way you relate with people
То, как вы относитесь к людям,
and give them sense of belonging,
и даете им чувство значимости,
sense of direction,
даете им чувство признательности,
continue.
продолжайте
And
делать
the
это.
grace of God will be with
И
you.
благодать Божья будет с вами.
Pastor Gandhi.
I'll be speaking in Yoruba.
Я буду говорить на языке Yoruba.
Yoruba. Ogbomoso. Ọ̀yọ́. Pastor Sunday, ó kú ọdún èní o. Ó kú ọdún ogójì èní. Agbára okun ó máa wà fún ẹ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ayé ẹ ní. Agbára Olúwa á máa wà fún ẹ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ayé ẹ. Aṣọ tó wọ́n tó sílẹ̀ bó ṣe lè mọ́ ní agbára bàbá lókè. Ọlọ́run ọba tó gbé ẹ sókè.
Приносите плод все дни в годы жизни вашей. Тот Бог, который поднял вас, Он будет хранить вас.
A máa máa gbọ́ nípa nǹkan tí Ọlọ́run ọba ń ṣe fún ẹni. Ọlọ́run ọba ò ní tójú tì ẹ́. A máa gbé ẹ lọ sókè sókè.
Больше благодати, силы Божьей и могущества
àti
Божьего.
ọmọ ọmọ ẹ ní ọjọ́ ayé ẹ. Òkìkí ẹ tí Ọlọ́run ọba tí ó ti fún ọ gbogbo ayé yìí náà ló sì máa máa gbọ́. Ọlọ́run ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú
И слава о вашем служении будет достигать всего мира.
ní agbára bàbá lókè. Ọlọ́run ọba tó jẹ́ kí gbogbo àgbáyé rí eléyìí tó ń ṣe fún eléyìí ní ogójì ọdún àti sì máa máa rí ni ní ọgọ́rùn-ún ọdún àti
Бог
bàbá gbọ́
продолжит эту работу с тобой
ní agbára bàbá lókè.
силой Божьей.
Agbára Ọlọ́run á máa fún ẹ, okun agbára máa fún ẹ, kò ní rẹ̀ àìsàn ò ní ṣe é ní agbára bàbá lókè. Ọlọ́run ọba yóò á tán ìmọ́lẹ̀ òkú sí ọjọ́ ayé ní agbára bàbá. Ọlọ́run ọba tó jẹ ní ìyàwó yìí, ẹ̀yin méjèèjì ẹ bára yín kalẹ̀ ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Àwọn ọmọ ẹ inú ẹ á máa dùn tí o bá rí wọn. Iṣẹ́ tí àwọn ọmọ ẹ máa ṣe ó máa pọ̀ ju tiẹ̀.
И ваши дети будут великими перед Богом. Аминь.
I will please rise up together.
Я прошу, чтобы вы все встали в
And
зале.
that is our greatest gift for this apostle to the nations.
И давайте воздадим Богу славу, как наш дар, чтобы благодать Божья была сильная на нем.
More grace,
Больше
more power.
благодати, больше силы.
Let's pray for him in the name of
Давайте будем
Jesus.
молиться. Поднимите руки,
Let's pray
пожалуйста,
for
и
him in the name
молитесь
of
сейчас.
Jesus. More grace,
Больше благодати, Господь.
more power.
Больше силы, Господь.
No weapon fashioned against him shall prosper.
Давайте скажем, никакое орудие, сделанное против тебя, не будет
He
успешным.
shall be a defense city,
Ты будешь защищенным городом.
iron pillar,
Ты будешь железным столбом.
bracing wall.
Ты будешь медной стеной.
They will fight against him,
И если они будут идти против
but they
тебя,
will never overcome him.
они никогда не смогут преодолеть
The
тебя.
Lord will sustain him.
Господь поддержит тебя.
Lord will keep him.
Господь сохранит тебя.
And the name of the Lord will be glorified in his life.
И имя Господня прославится в
He
его
will
жизни.
finish his race very well.
Он закончит свое поприще очень успешно.
He will not fall.
Он не падет.
Hallelujah.
Аллилуйя.
Amen.
Аминь.
In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ,
Во имя Иисуса Христа,
in agreement with one of our executives,
в согласии с одним из наших
Pastor
лидеров,
Tony Rabu,
пастором Тони Рапло,
we say on behalf of the rest, Apostle John,
мы говорим это и провозглашаем от лица всех остальных.
you shall go from strength to strength.
Ты будешь укрепляться и переходить от силы в силу.
New unction,
Новый елей,
new anointing,
новое помазание, стране.
new territories.
Новые границы и территории.
If the Lord tarries,
Если Господь замедлит,
as Caleb said,
как сказал Халев,
at the age of 85,
в возрасте 80 лет,
you will say,
ты скажешь,
as my strength was 45 years ago,
как моя сила была, когда мне было 40 лет,
so is my strength now.
такая же моя сила и сейчас.
And everybody say loud, Amen.
И все вместе мы скажем громко Аминь.
We want to sing the last song, Happy Birthday song in Ijebu dialect.
Мы хотим спеть еще также песню поздравления с днем рождения на нашем диалекте.
He's a jolly good fellow. That's the meaning. He's a jolly good fellow. So we sing. If you can't sing it, just sing it in English. He's a jolly good fellow. That's the meaning. He's a jolly good fellow.
Это песня говорит, что это он хороший человек.
Right. So we go. If you know it in Ijebu, sing it, but if it's English, just feel free. Any little money wager, any little money wager, any little money wager. Hooray! And so say all of us, hooray! So say all of us, hooray! Any little money wager, any little money wager, any little money wager. And so say all of us, hooray!
Бог благословит вас.
Thank you for being with us today. You have been watching a program from the Embassy of the Blessed Kingdom of God for all nations.
All right. Can you people believe it? That Nigeria Christianity, PFN, sent representative, Pentecostal PFN, Fellowship of Nigeria, sent representative to come and congratulate me. There was a time like that. Now, I think I'm probably the most hated person by that same PFN right now. I'm probably the most hated person in Nigerian Pentecostal charismatic churches. But they sent their representatives. They sent a whole delegate. They used to send delegates here every year to come and be congratulating me until I began to speak concerning them, until I began to speak the truth. Now that I'm speaking the truth, everybody, they are gathering together to rain curses on me. Before they were blessing me, now it is curses that are raining on me. But I will say that bishop, though, that's Bishop Olaleye, he is still okay. He is still okay. Others have disappeared. So, well, you know, that's life. But the truth, you know, just like Isaac Newton said, you know, Socrates is my friend, Plato is my friend, but the truth is my greatest friend. Yeah. So in my case, I love everybody, but the truth is my greatest friend. You know, somebody is saying that we need this video, okay? But these videos are on my YouTube. All my old videos, all the things, they're all on the YouTube there. But anyway, I think we will cut this one and place it out, especially for all of you who are asking for it. Okay, we have a caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Oh, that is Osaro. Hello, sir.
How are you, sir?
Well, you know, I didn't even know that this is the video they were going to show, but it just brings to memory.
You know, I was watching the video and I said I'm going to ask Pastor Sunday. These same people bless you now. I'm sure by now they don't even want to see your face.
Yeah, they gather together in Nigeria now, and people are praying against me, pronouncing curses against me. All the bishops and the big men. Yeah, I am now the greatest enemy of the church in Nigeria.
Well, the prayer they prayed, they said that, you know, nobody will be able to come against you. That prayer has been answered. So no matter what you do now, it's too late now. It's too late.
Thank you, sir.
It's too late. It is quite interesting, this love topic you've been teaching. I just want to say thank you. It's really amazing. And you know what, Pastor Sunday? this thing you're doing, it is working. It is working. Yes, it is working. At least I'm having my own groundwork from the information I'm getting. It is working. Yes, it is. You know, I was speaking with my younger brother today. He told me, he said he feels like he's not even started Christianity at all. Yeah, exactly. So it is working. So, and he was telling me, he said, I want you to be praying for my wife because my wife needs to hear all these things. So, and I've been talking to him and I've been praying for them. So it is working. You know, I just spoke with another brother in Lagos. He himself is saying the same thing.
Jesus.
So, you know,
Jesus.
Yes. So it is working. People are getting it. I'm very sure people are getting it. You know, we may not be seeing the effect right now immediately, but people are getting it. So it is working, and I'm so grateful. And you know, you mentioned something again today that I've never heard any man said. There are some things you say that have been in my heart that I've been saying, and I've never heard anybody say it, but I come and I hear you say it. You know, you teaching about love. Love is about sacrifice. Love is about you giving of yourself for the benefit of others. And you gave the example of men that say they want to do family planning. That they don't want to have children anymore.
Yes.
And then they put their wife on harm's way. I have been saying it for years. I said, how can somebody be a Christian? To be a Christian means to be Christ-like. Then how can you want to reap the benefit of not having children, but you put your wife's body in harm's way? They make them take those hormones that are so dangerous to the body, that can cause cancer. And you are satisfied with that. I've never heard any pastor spoke about it except for you. So I told my wife when I was listening, I said, you see, that is a man right there. That is a man. That is a man right there. Because this thing, nobody speaks about it. Nobody will talk about it. But the truth is, you don't want to have children. You know how many women, what they suffer through this stuff. They put all kinds of strange stuff in their body. But the man is not taking any responsibility.
You are right.
So I just want to say thank you. And for people, you see, it is stuff like this that we don't pay attention to. People will be surprised when they stand before Christ in heaven. They will be surprised. Stuff you don't expect like it, but yet they are very important. I know of women that are suffering right now because of some contraceptive that they are taking that their body just cannot cope with.
And these so-called husbands, they will be the first one to go and remarry.
They will be the first one to go and remarry. So how can you say you love your wife? You know, I'm not trying to boast or trying to say anything, but this is just common sense for anybody that understands what love is. If we are Christians and we understand what love is, by the time myself and my wife we have the second kid, and we already made up our mind that we're just going to have two. She said, "What are we going to do now?" I said, "We're not doing nothing. You are not taking nothing. It is my responsibility
Beautiful.
as the man of the house."
Wow.
I said, if I have to go do vasectomy, I'm ready to go do it. But you will not put chemicals in your body. You will not put foreign objects in your body. Because that is my responsibility. I said, Jesus told us that we should be ready to die for those that we lead.
Yes.
So I just want to bless God for your life. In fact, what God is doing with you, what God is using you to do, Pastor Sunday, it is big. And nothing can stop it.
Amen.
People are getting it. Young people are getting it in Nigeria, Pastor Sunday. They are getting it.
Wow.
From my own conversation, this thing is getting, people are getting it. My own younger brother goes to Christ Embassy with the family. He is the one telling me today he feels he's never started Christianity at all.
Jesus.
Just from the little he has listened to. So I am very, very sure. I am so grateful and I am happy because we know that you are not doing this thing just because you just want to stir the pot or because you want to give anybody a time. You are doing it because you are compelled by love and by concern. And that is why the power of God is backing you and nobody can stop you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
God
sir.
bless you.
Thank you so much, Osaro. You know, what Osaro just said now, you know, 2 days ago, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, I had a dream where God was telling me that some people are saying now that we have less people, that people dropped off because of this message on love. It's too tough. But Jesus came to me in that dream and telling me that, don't worry, this is what I need, only the serious ones. He said, how many disciples did I have? I said 12. He said, you only need 12 people, or maybe less. The less people, but who are more serious, who are quality people, those are the ones you need. You don't need the crowd to carry this message. You only need the most serious one. This message is too serious. This is not the message for the crowd. And so, let only the serious one remain. But through those serious ones, this message will spread throughout the world. Just like through the 12 disciples, the kingdom message spread throughout the world. So God confirmed that to me. God came to me to speak that to me in my dream. And now, Osaro is saying the same thing. That even though the numbers seem to have reduced, but that is what God is doing. God wants only the people who are serious, who are serious-minded, who will run with this thing, for them to be the ones to hear this. Hello?
Hello, Pastor. Good evening.
Oh, that's Pastor Ernest.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir? Well,
I'm doing great.
I hope you are there today.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it's great. It's well. We bless God for what God is using you to do. I'm just wondering, the way our people think. For example, I did a post today afternoon while at work, and I didn't know about prayer, not praying for our enemies to die, and not knowing a lot of people were coming against me seriously. And thank God, loving your enemy, not praying for them to die. And thank God some people from the platform were also fighting back. So coming back, it wasn't easy.
So that is not a popular prayer request.
Yes. So I touched the untouchable. So they have come, in fact, when, upon all the writing and all that, they knew where I was coming from. So they started, you're preaching now, teaching about love, while you're condemning other pastors in Nigeria. So I'm wondering, does it mean if you love someone, you won't correct the person? You won't correct what the person, the wrong practices of the person?
You see? Now that will make you help me explain to them.
Yeah, so I had to ask. They were coming seriously. I've been listening to the broadcast and writing at the same time. So I don't understand. So it means if we love people, we are not supposed to correct them. If they do anything wrong, we should just accept. And one pastor was coming seriously after me. And I told him, I asked him, I said, the Christianity we are enjoying today is as a result of the Protestant revolution through Martin Luther. That's why we are enjoying our Christian, and we Africans, we are, trying to bring back what was destroyed. If this man did not wake up and stand up to fight back, we wouldn't enjoy this Christianity today.
Yes.
So why are you saying that Pastor Sunday is not supposed to correct the wrong practices of the African pastors? Everyone is coming to you, but you are in Europe. The guy is in Europe too. And then you came here, you are enjoying Europe. Do you know how it started, how it came to be? As a result of Christianity, Protestant revolution. And now look at our continent, and we are speaking that we are not supposed to pray these prayers. We need to love them no matter what they've done. And he was quoting all the scriptures. It has been a great battle. So I just want us to spread the news, because I'm speaking to the people who are listening now, that this is a battle that we need to really come out and speak out. Enough of just being silent. Let's post things that attract them. Because at the end of the day, I warned them. They surrendered. They said, okay, we leave you. I said, okay, make your proof. If Pastor Sunday is destroying, criticizing and judging, make your proof. He is not, he's only criticizing the practices. We need to correct them, and they are wrong. And he proved them from the scriptures. So we are not supposed to condone those things. We need to correct them. I personally, I wrote that personally, I have been in that, all the prayer books, I had them, both digital and physical books. I had all of them. I prayed them, and I've never heard of enemy, the burial of my enemy. I've never heard. All the years I've been praying. So I had to make my stand that discovering your platform has made Christianity more interesting. I'm enjoying Christianity today than the 23 years I've been a believer. And I want everyone to know that this platform is the best thing that has ever, I always say, is the best thing that has ever happened to the history of Christianity in our generation.
Wow.
And all over the world. This platform.
Wow.
Because what we are getting, I used to tell President, if you miss one broadcast, go back to listen, because every time Pastor Sunday comes up, there must always be something to learn. And it's not, no broadcast is the same. There must always be something to learn. So no matter how you miss it, go back and listen, no matter how difficult it is. So this love series is really, it's going somewhere. And I really thank you for such revelations. They are so deep. In fact, the love series is like shampoo I'm using to wash myself. I'm just washing myself from my head to toe, every part of my body. Because it enters everywhere. So there's nothing, so people who are coming criticizing, they are prejudiced. They are criticizing out of ignorance because they don't know what they are missing. I just pray they could just bring down themselves and keep prejudice aside. Come to learn. Pastor, what I've learned from you, I don't know which school could have taught me. And I want to encourage everyone to keep hooking up to this platform, learning as much as possible, because knowledge is power. And I tell you now, there's no argument anyone will come that I will not win.
Yeah.
Quote the scripture, quote anything you know, I will win you because I've studied and I'm still studying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Let me not take too much time.
Beautiful, strong.
Yes,
very strong contribution, sir. Very strong.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Wow, beautiful. That is very strong. Pastor Ernest is become Pastor Sunday number 2. Beautiful job. I think we have another caller coming on. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, is that Apostle Paul?
Hello?
Yes. Hello?
God bless you, sir.
Yeah.
This is Paul, sir.
That's Apostle Paul. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, sir.
We did hear
God bless you, sir. God bless you. I've been following. Thank you for the message of love.
Yeah.
The love is the greatest. We cannot do anything but for love.
Yes.
Because God is love personified. Like I always say, love is not just an English word that is spelled L-O-V-E. No, love is a person. It's a personality. And that's what the Bible says, greater is he that is in us, means the love that we have in us consumes every other thing around. Pastor, there was a period of time when I got saved. You know, my elder sister, because when I came out of cultism, so everyone was looking at me like, now you joined cult and everything, really? So everybody was trying to, I was like a black sheep in the family. Everybody ignored me, you know, so hate started coming inside of me, you know, because they were really doing things to me that made me, I felt I wanted to revenge. Because the reason why I even joined cultism was because I was abused as a child, because I grew up with my uncle, so his wife abused me. She used dry pepper to bat me. She wants to beat me. She has to use dry pepper, mix it with water to pour on me first before descending on me. So I was really abused. And, you know, she was someone who took me to places, you know, I remember one time I told you that I was taken to a place of prayers and they were praying for me and pushing me to fall, and I refused to fall. They said I had a stubborn spirit. And later I began to move around so that I won't really, so that they won't call me stubborn spirit. So it won't be as if I didn't want to fall. And they said, it's a Nyanga spirit and all that. You know, so for me growing up, I felt that what my aunt has done to me. So when I got into university, I wanted to revenge, Pastor. My intention was to revenge. I wanted to revenge. I said, I'm going to kill her. So I wanted to join cultism because I wanted to make sure that she dies. So when I joined the cultism, my plan was to kill. Then later I met a friend who is a man of God, and I shared this with him. I said, bro, I want to do what I planned I want to do. That woman must die. I must make sure she falls. Because that is the reason why I even joined what I did. But God helped me on the line, and when I encountered him, because Pastor DSA, I did not encounter Christ because I went to church and they preached the gospel and say, if you know you are here, you want to, you know, because it's very easy to preach a message of success. And after the message of success, then you now give an altar call and say, if you know you are here and you don't know Jesus and you want to partake of the success we just preached, now come out. That was not my type of encounter. Because it's easy for people to come out because they want, because we are seeking the gifts and not the giver of the gift. Sometimes I find out the reason why many of us go to church today is because it's not because we love God. It's because we love those gifts that we want to get from him, like a car, promotion, breakthrough, or whatever, miracle thing. But the time came, Jesus looked at them and said, you adulterous generation, is it miracles you're looking for? Okay, I'm going to show you a sign of Jonah. And many people left. Today you just said something that many people are leaving the platform. You know, but God said, no, let them go. Because even Gideon, God was raising the army. He says, it's too much. I just need a remnant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. It's okay for me. I don't need crowd. I don't need multitudes. And the Bible said everybody left. And he said, do you still want to live? He asked the disciples, say, where do we go to? You have the word of life in you. So there's nowhere to go to. So, sir, it became so bad in me that I really wanted to make a revenge of what my aunt has done. And the word a man of God told me, said, you know what you're going to do? Let me tell you the secret what you do. Love her more. I said, how? He said, love her more. I said, despite all she's doing to me, he said, yes, love her more. When I went back to the house trying to love her more and forgive her, Pastor, it's as if the devil heard about it and made her to start doing more worse things again.
Wow.
You know? But from the teachings you just gave, I just began to say, God, thank you, because all those tests I passed through, now I'm getting the lessons, knowing that sometimes when God will put us in a situation where he wants us to absorb a lot of things so we can grow up and be fully matured in him. Because that is the touch, that is the reason for the fivefold ministry, that the body of Christ will come to the level of maturity and stature of Christ in the full, so that will not be tossed to and fro by strange doctrines. So I thank God for this platform of the love message that has been hitting the waves and everywhere. This is God. This is God. The love message is God himself spreading across and everything. So thank you, DSA, because this has really helped me to understand that all the trainings that God has made me pass. I wanted to make a lot of revenges. I'm going to kill this person. I'm going to kill that person. Like Saul, people are even still afraid of me. Sometimes when I even go to church, some people run away, say, like the way Saul was, that people didn't want to be more than him because they felt he was still a bad person. But Saul became Paul. So the encounter I had, things began to change. When I met Bash and other things, I began to read books. I began to buy books. I wanted to have the biggest library in the world. I started sharing books around. I started trying to make people read. And that's why I'm so glad and excited that DSA, you have really taught us that we should read, think, ask questions, make researches, so that you can be able to have discovery, so that you can become the next Steve Jobs, you can become Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton. These are one men with ideas. They were pregnant and they refused to abort, they refused to have miscarriage, and they gave birth to that which they carry. So I made up my mind. I said, I will not abort, I will not have any miscarriage, but that which God has put inside of me, the potentials, the ideas that I'm pregnant with, like Paul said, I'm like a drink offering. I'm emptied myself. So just as you're doing, emptying yourself, because before you pass through there, you're going to leave posterity behind. So we are behind you, and we're going to do exactly as you follow Christ, we follow you. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Okay, let's see. We have more callers. Before we didn't have callers. Now after callers are coming up. So let's hear and see who is the next caller. Okay, yep. For those of you who have not yet registered for mentorship, you can join the mentorship by going to my blog, sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. Hello?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Put up the volume. Put up the Facebook.
My system is hanging.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Paul, you are experienced now. You know you should put it off if you want to talk.
Yeah, I was doing that actually, but the system just hangs.
Okay. No problem.
Sorry, sir. Good evening.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I want to say well done. And then I actually wasn't planning to call today, but for one of the comments. So I wanted to say that the people are actually living, probably not intentionally. I guess it's because it is difficult to take in all of the messages at once.
Yeah.
And the reason is that it is we have moved from the level of meat to the level of bones now. So I guess it's not everybody that has the teeth already to take the bones at once.
Yeah.
So I am sure that a lot of people will be coming in or coming back. And beside that, those that we have currently, I can say, because I was on the platform, I was on Facebook this afternoon, the one that the second caller called and said he posted, it was actually me and one other sister and him that was actually responding to those people. And when I checked their profile, I found out that some of them are pastors of some churches actually. So I wasn't surprised, and then it was as if as they were coming up with their own points, we were also coming up with our own defense, And this was we were doing this based on knowledge, and it was without insult, It was just exposing the truth to them. So I actually felt like this kind of opportunity will continue to expose to people, to confront them with the truth gradually, and it will be this kind of a thing will be carried out by those who would have learned and who would have eaten the bone, who would have eaten all that it takes. Like me now, I am glued to my computer every night. So, and I'm sure that if you other people that are also on the platform right now, they are kind of regular, and in a way, our hands is beginning to touch ourselves through the internet. So, I believe that God is really building an army. And the guy said eventually you guys are in Europe, you are in some of these advanced developed countries. This is Africa. That this is how we pray in Africa, that there are enemies that you must pray so that they will not overcome you and all of that. And I finally said that, okay, if the Bible they are reading in Africa, if it is different from the one they read in Europe, his point would have been relevant and valid. But since it is the same gospel, that is preached, I mean, the same Bible may not be the same doctrine or gospel, but at least the same Bible that we read in Africa is the same thing they read in Europe as well. And principles are usually something that is a constant. All right. So if a principle is constant here in Europe, it's constant in America, constant in some Asia countries, why is it that it's not working in Africa? The only reason for that is that it's not the Bible, it's not Christianity, it's not Jesus that has changed. It is we, the people, that has received, that has refused to accept the message of love, the true message of Christ. It is the people, African people, and their mentality that have built a wall, so that the message will not enter, will not pierce into their heart. And I told them, just like this brother Ernest also quoted, that he also prayed these prayers. I prayed this kind of prayers also for many years. I mean, up until recently, I also prayed those prayers, thinking that the best thing is, in order for my enemies to not kill me, I have to kill my enemy first. But this was what they preached to us for many years, sir.
Wow.
All right, these were prayers that we prayed for so many years.
Wow.
And what you are doing now, sir, is like you are now saying that people should throw away all that they taught them all their life. All right, a lot of people, these people are 40, 50 years old, and some of them are 70. And this is what they've been feeding on all this while, and now we want to just break their theology and destroy it. So it will not be once, it will not be that easy, but with consistency, and we continually do these things. A lot of us have been delivered right now, and I believe that the thing is spreading, gradually is spreading. I'm spreading into my people. Yesterday somebody sent me a video. I think this video was made by a pastor in the US, and it was analyzing how Islamic jihadists could actually take over Nigeria, and this is not a sin. It's not because of what the Islamic jihadists will do or what Islam will do, but because what Nigerian Christians have permitted, So, and he broke it down. So there are a lot of people that are already they are already supporting this cause gradually, just that they are not well known as you are. So I just want to say that you are doing a very good work, sir, and the message is actually spreading. It is spreading. A lot of lives are changing deliberately. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, I think we still have callers, so yeah, let's hear some other contributors. All right, who is there? Hello.
Hello, good evening, DSA and DSA family.
Sister Angela, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, we are happy to hear you always.
Yes, sir. Thank God for the teaching of tonight, DSA. God bless you for this series of love that we have been teaching for almost a month now. It's what we need. When I see some people sending texts in the platform, talking that the message is contradicting, some people are saying one thing or the other, that you are judging. It's a pity. It's so sad that they are not getting it. That's why the word of God said, them that worship him should worship him in truth and in spirit. These ones, they have no spirit. The one that condemned them and tell them that if they don't pay tithe, they will die. They didn't see that person as condemning them. That person have judged them. And it's you that is trying to correct things so that we will live our life as Christians, as Christ-like. Is the one that they are saying you are condemning. DSA, you know why they are angry? Because it is difficult for them to practice it. Because you are teaching love. They don't want it. Men have been built with that wicked heart of hatred. So they don't want to hear anything about this love series. And one thing you should understand in Nigeria, there's one spirit Nigerians have. They have the spirit of, why should it be you? Why not it be me? So these pastors, they came to Ukraine, they prayed for you and prophesied, they saw your testimonies, they agree with you. But inside them, they're asking, why must you be you? Why can't he be them? And they don't want to let go. For you to have those testimonies, you should let go. That was what Abraham did with Lot. He said, let me risk it now and gain future. But today, these men of God, they want to gain now and risk the future. That's why they are deceiving people. When they tell the Africans, the Nigerians, that the prayer we should pray here should be different than the prayer they pray in Western world, then you begin to ask them, is the foundation of Christ for Africa different from the foundation of Christ for the Western world? He said, there is no more condemnation on them that are in Christ Jesus. Whether you are a Westerner or you are an African or you are Nigerian, they have failed to teach the truth because they want to build empire for themselves. And when somebody, the pastor that was saying that is contradicting, nothing is contradicting. Somebody did evil. He killed a woman and the daughter. And the woman condemned what he did, took him to court, and they sentenced him to prison. And he failed because he loved the boy with the love of Christ. He said, no, leaving this boy to die, maybe nobody will be bringing food. Let me still go and show him love. Even if anything happens, he will come to repentance through love and wear the crown and make heaven. And somebody is saying that is contradicting. What is contradicting there? It's because this is a message they don't want to hear. It's a message they don't want to practice. You will hear believers today saying, I don't visit people. It's not me. I like to be on my own. A Christian, you don't like visiting others. You don't like to asking others how they are doing. You like to be on your own. Except you face trouble and overcome. That's when you will wear the crown. If you have not seen any temptation and you didn't overcome it, you should not mark good for yourself. DSA, we have seen your testimonies. We are impressed. We are impressed, and we have agreed to follow the truth that is love, the truth that is Christ, so that at the end we will make it. We are strongly behind you. Jesus is strongly behind you because we are preaching the word of our Lord Jesus Christ. No weapon formed against you and everyone that believes in this message of truth shall ever prosper. And any tongue, anywhere that shall rise up against you, the truth we are teaching, the word of God says in judgment, they are already condemned. We don't need to pray because the Almighty God has promised us that the truth we know shall set us free. That truth you know will set you free, will set the family free, will set as many that want to practice love free in Jesus' name. Well done. God bless you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I think we still have a caller. Okay, let's receive the other caller. Let's receive the other caller here. Here we go. All right. Who is the next caller there? Let's keep on receiving all the contributions. Okay. Is anybody there?
DSA team.
Yes.
My name is Isaac Akibode from Texas.
Okay, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, God bless you, sir.
Yes.
Yes, from today's lecture, I heard about the fact that you were talking about 50%, talking about the love series. So you are saying that women should take responsibility because we love our wives. We should take total responsibility just like Jesus took responsibility upon each and every one of us. Why I pick up the phone to call is that some of our wives are hearing. Of course, they love your program now. But the area of 50-50 DSA, for those of us, especially in this continent, in this part of the world, in America, the fact is what majority of us earn here, by the time we combine the husband's income and combine the wife's income, is barely enough to pay the expenses per month. So in other words, wives' income and husband income, sometimes they go for it. Even there are times we have to ask. Some of us have to ask our children to go and work, make a little money, and we add it in order to pay our expenses for the month. So it is not for the benefit of our wives who are hearing. It is not that we do not love them. We love them. But it is situational, what I call situational factor. Back in Nigeria, most of us, before we came here, we took total responsibility. But in America here, those of us who are in America and are hearing and listening to me, sincerely speaking, most of us, we do not earn enough for men alone to be able to bear the expenses. That is the area I just want to touch, sir.
Beautiful. You are a very, very correct gentleman, because the way you are even talking, you are talking with a lot of consideration, not with anger, not with hatred, because some people, Africans, will normally respond with anger and hatred. So thank you so much for your explanation. I understand that actually, but what I was, even though I understand your argument, but what I would normally say is that we should give the women, you know, the freedom for them to decide. For example, in my own family now, I tell my wife, you go ahead and do anything you want. If you want to work to support the family, it's your choice, it's your decision. But I'm talking about the situation when husbands are pushing wives to do that.
Oh, that's not fair.
Let the women take the responsibility. Give them the benefit of, let them know your own heart that you are ready, you want to support them, but that you know, you are not pushing them, you are not you are not forcing them to do. But when they see the situation, and I know women themselves, when they see that their family is in need, they themselves they want to do something. So, but let them make their own decision, so that we are not forcing them to do things like that.
Thank you so much, sir. We are enjoying every series.
And you know, Brother Isaac, I think the reason, another reason why I'm also talking about that is for the sake of the younger ones, so that the younger ones will know the ideal situation, the ideal picture, before, especially men, that we need to take responsibility. Because what I hear now, is that even in the UK, that men will invite a woman to the restaurant, and in that restaurant they will be telling the girl, okay, you pay for yourself, I pay for myself. So it has gotten to that point now, because they are now thinking that is what is normal. And you want to marry the girl, and you are telling her to pay for herself and you will pay for yourself. What kind of husband will you be? That's the kind of thing. That's the reason why I was talking about this thing.
Okay. Thank you for the enlightenment, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
God bless you, sir.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of understanding. But thank God, Brother Isaac called and explained his own situation, the whole reality of things on ground there. But I just also, it helped me to be able to explain also, you know, why I was saying what I was saying. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, DSA.
Good evening, sir. Who is calling, please?
It's Peter, one of your disciples, calling from Belgium.
Yes. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, and you?
Well, you know, doing my best, trying my best.
Yeah, I mean, that's your best is enough for us.
Thank you, sir.
It's enough. It's going well, and I just first and foremost, I just want to thank you for this love message, this love series.
Yeah.
It has changed my profession. It has changed my mentality. It has changed the way I look at things, how to love, the rate and the level of the love that I think I have before.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for that. And I want to contribute in this aspect of the people that is leaving the platform.
Yeah.
Many people are leaving the platform because it's difficult for them to listen to you direct when you are live. But when we post it, to our Facebooks and share it, I think some people still have time on their spare time, maybe they go, and because I know some of my friends, they don't watch live, they don't have time. When I send it to them like a link, I will see them off and on. But I very sure most of them are online now, like 2 or 3. I can see them online. They are listening steady now. I just want to give you another testimony of a lady. I think she's online now. Is a friend to my wife. When she called me, especially last week Saturday, and thanking me for sending her the link of this message that she has been going to church. She has not been hearing. He has not heard this kind of messages that he has been hearing. So she was really thanking me. I said, no, you give God the glory. So, in other words, I just want to tell you that the message is going.
Wow.
Gradually is going. A lot of workers is going on the ground that now maybe you won't see it. You don't see it, but I know with the Spirit of God in you, with the power of God in you, I know something is moving. People are changing. There is a lot of fighting. The people are fighting back. It's like a corrupt system, like what's happening in Nigeria now. Maybe our president is saying, want to fight corruption, but the corrupt ones are fighting back. They are using their power. That also, our churches in Nigeria, even here in they are fighting back. For me, it's a testimony. For me, I've changed all the series, your messages. I don't do all that things in my work. And I have different way of reason now, different way completely. I've not read any of your books, but the messages I have I've heard from you from YouTube has changed my life, have really changed my life. It has been a blessing to me. I have to handle my own. The man that earlier called, that just called before me, is a very honest person. Some people will not call, or they will use anger. I really appreciate the way he explained, because here you look the same. I was in the same situation. But since I started hearing, I apologized to my wife because I said, this is what we're not supposed to do. He was very happy. But he knew how much I received. He knew how much we received. But we now use our mind, and there's no argument how to help each other. Most especially in this way, you don't have a second income, you don't have business. No, so I really appreciate your teaching, and I'm really very blessed in it. And people are getting it. People are really getting it, because the seed of hatred in our churches has turned many people, has changed so many people's mind. We just think about to swear. When instead of praying, we are swearing. We thought to say that. Even I was in a congregation a couple of days weeks ago. I was not able to pray that kind of prayer. I was like, everybody was praying different way. I was just praying the same way inside me. I was different way. I was just blessing. So the message is going, and people have been touched, have been blessed, and I really appreciate it. And I want you to keep on, not to stop. The respect of people are leaving the platform. It has been a blessing to me, and I still believe it is a blessing to other people, millions of people there that are not able to call, or they don't want to call now. I think it's changing life. Really, it's changing life. I really appreciate it, sir. I want you to do your best more. God will give you more wisdom in the mighty name of Jesus.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Blessings.
Yeah. Goodness, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all for today. Oh, I think we still have one. We might have one. Yeah, I think we have one more caller. Okay, let's get this one more call, and then that will be all for today. Okay, let's see where the caller is coming from. Hello.
Hello. Good evening, DSA.
Oh, good evening. Is that Sister Tola?
Hello.
Is that Sister Tola from Germany?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's me, sir. Good evening, sir. It's another Friday. I do call it on Fridays.
Yes. How are you doing today?
Very well, sir. Sir, I was almost calling in yesterday. Yesterday, I was highly emotional.
Wow.
I cried over and over again till I went to bed.
Wow.
The message yesterday really blesses me so much, sir. I must confess to you. And you know what? So many questions I ask myself, that most of the things I got angry over in the past, or I pick offense over, then I begin to ask myself why they were uncalled for. But because the love was really missing, we didn't actually learn about it in the way. The way you handled it yesterday was, that was the best of it all. Honestly, I can't compare yesterday with today. I was really confused. The message came so true, and I wasn't seeing you as the one speaking at a point in time. Honestly, sir, I wasn't seeing you as the one speaking. I saw Christ speaking through you. And this is what I want to tell people. Most of the time when you talk, I'm quite sure you never plan and said, I'm going to tell these people apart from what you are reading, but at the end of the day, we see God speaking directly through you. And that was what I saw yesterday. And the best gift I received on the 14th was the books I ordered came in. And I started with, yes, I was so happy. And in January, when I got it, they were asking me to pay tax, which almost half of the money of what I pay for the 4 books I ordered. But on my way there, I told God, I said, this is the first time, apart from the one that, when they bring preachers to the church, after the preacher finish preaching, they will start forcing their books on you. I said, this is the book I actually voluntarily bought for myself this time around. It's not because of the fact that a pastor that was being invited had been, pressurizing people, telling you, even at times they go as far as calling names and telling you, come and take one against your own will, And on getting there, on my way there, I parked and I was walking in, and I told God, this is the book I'm buying, and this is, I want to call for a change in my life. How do I do when they ask me to pay tax? So you won't believe it. When I got in there, they just checked through, and they said, no, you don't have to pay for it again. You don't have to pay any tax. And they gave the book to me. I was so excited. I said, God, you are really confirming everything concerning this journey.
In Germany, that's a big testimony.
Yes. They gave the books to me. They said, I don't have to pay any tax. The tax supposed to be over 30 euro, and they didn't collect penny from me. And I went to the card. I said, God, I thank God I didn't die before now. What would have happened? I shouldn't have made heaven at all, honestly. Honestly. If I had died before now, I wouldn't have made heaven. Because apart from the fact that, when you confess your sin and things you are doing that you are doing, but the real love that's supposed to be there is not actually there. And I want to appreciate God for you, sir. I want to really appreciate God for what God is doing through you. And I started with the church shift yesterday before going to bed. And I only read the previous. Then I said, will I survive reading this old book? Because the way I read alone is already, it's breaking. It's like an oppression, oppressing on someone. And one thing I've just found out that reading your book is as if someone is oppressing you. You're in operation room, a lot of people bring things, the nurse will bring a particular instance for a doctor to use. That is exactly what the world does. Every statement in your books it's just like performing an operation in the body, in the mind, in the soul of that person. So I want to encourage people on the platform, invest on it. It's worth doing. It's worth doing. Before you began, even just introduction alone is already making you feel being, in another world entirely. We bless God. I want to thank you for the message of today as well. It is really great, really, really great. The illustration that was made at the beginning, when we all are choosing A, B, C, and all that was really great. You won't get that in a Bible school. You won't get it in a Bible school. How come about that, dear say? It was really wonderful. So, and that is exactly what we do to people around us. That is what we do to our neighbors. That's what we do to our sisters, our brothers. We conclude for them. We just look at them and make, conclusions. And this is really, really destroying a lot of things. And relationship within husband and wife. I want to appreciate God for you. And people are getting it. People are loving it. People are getting it. People might not be able to call in or tell you in person that what they are, but the message we are passing it across to people, and people are telling you, who is this? Who is this man? Who is this man? Who is this man? They kept asking, because they've never heard this in this way before. God bless you, DSA.
Wow.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Sister Tola. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, sir. Bye,
God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Well, thank you, everybody. That's all for today. That's the last caller. So I will let you go. God bless